Oh shit, I watched that guy's videos in your chat.
Who?
Hello, Jay Tello. I watch all his videos, bro.
What's up, bro?
He streams. Dude, you need to update your fucking PvP video with all the loot. Your video's outdated. Bitch.
That's what you get.
What did I do? What did I do to deserve this? I got this motherfucker McConnell shitting on my videos now? Editor, you better, this is your fault. This is your fault. You're lucky I don't grab the broom and next to Chocolate and beat the shit out of you. Settle down, you're all pissing me off right now. Including you too, McConnell. Including you too. You're locked in, brother, but you better settle the fuck down right now. Hydration Nation. Yo, I feel the backwash coming. There's a something going on down here. I don't know what's happening. If somebody was busting a nut. Not that type of video. YouTube family friendly. Please don't ban us. Thank you very much. However, who are these guys to say this type of shit? And you got Zach agreeing with him. Unbelievable. You know what? I might as well flip out right now. Editor, get a full cam in. Get a full cam. I want you. I want you. If I find you, you're getting repented. Put them both on high alert, I said. I said what I said. Put them both on high alert right now. Listen, we got a lot to discuss today, in fairness. Settle down. Take it easy. I almost got winded there. I had to do 10 push-ups, and I would have been alright. Maybe one, you know what push-up? Should I say it? A dick push-up. Settle down. Not that type of video. YouTube, forgive me. Family friendly. We're just kidding. Don't ban us. They might. Where's my camera? Where's my camera? Editor, are you setting me up right now? Are you setting me up? You want to get shot? In Minecraft, of course, you'll get shot, though. You better back up and keep it locked in. However, we got a lot of stuff to discuss today. There's a lot of things to go over. Knight Lieutenant stuff, rank 7. We're on our way up to the east side, as some people might say, okay? Alright? From the Jeffersons. However, lock it down, alright? Lock it in, lock it down, get out of town. Don't piss me off. Alright. So we got some locks to talk about today. As you see here, the raid results from Sunken Temple. A lot of interesting things are going on as far as, you know, number results. And it seems like, which I'm really excited about, is Feral Druids are now coming back to the top. They're getting their name in the spotlight again. Let me tell you something right now. Our guild, we're in need of Feral Druids. So if you're on Living Flame US, put your cat paw in the sky and come say hi and stop on by. Because I need ya. Especially in my group right here. This paladin right here. However, though, very interesting thing that I see right now is that DPS paladins, we're in the mix. We're there. We're chilling. Now, I know some people might say our scaling might fall off as we go up higher, and I might agree with you, because Blizzard's fucking us over, for sure. And all the shamans are getting sucked off in the casting couch scene. It's real great. However, yeah, I'm happy that we're in the mix, but there's a lot of things to discuss. There's still more weeks to go on by, more gear to acquire, more different, you know, enchantments to put on all the set pieces and all the gear pieces in general. These numbers might fluctuate. Let's see how they do, including, you know, with all world buffs, you know, Songflower, etc. A lot of stuff to go over, and I'm really excited to even try to hit some pretty decent parses this week. I'm really looking forward to getting in there. Honestly, this Sunday is when we're doing our raid, so it's going to be a really good time. But overall, it seems like, you know, in the top deeps right now, Melee Hunter, DPS Rogue making their rise back to the ranks, acquiring their rightful spot as a targeting, single targeting damage demon, and I respect that, because DPS Rogues, you know, they were getting shitted on last phase for no fucking reason, and a good rogue knows what they're doing. I ain't gonna hate you. And enhancement shamans, more power to them. I'm sure Sky over there, on the, you know, over there at the comeback kids, they're killing it. No big deal. Much love to them amigos. But they're on high alert too for what they said in their video today about paladins. Lance, high alert. Set them all down. Lock it in for 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes, and then you can come back and play the game. However, anywho, so today's video, the more juicy stuff. We're talking about PvP paladin. We're going to have some honest takes, because I got Blizzard. We're going to have a one-on-one conversation here at the end, because I need to talk to you. We need to figure something out, because the way you got your items right now, and the way things make sense for some classes and not for others, it doesn't add up. I will explain more as we go through the video, so stay locked in, get some popcorn, put a seatbelt on, maybe edge a little bit, settle down. However, get back to the video. So, we did some planning on 60 upgrades. You probably see here I did a reckoning thing. I have this one that says Seal of Martyrdom down here. If I just move the camera, Seal of Martyrdom right there. And we are basically planning a couple builds on what I want to go with in terms of, you know, end game, like PvP, because I'm a big PvP guy. I love, you know, doing PvP in Classic WoW. It's just enjoyable for me. I'm not saying, like, you know, it's not everyone needs to enjoy it, but it's just a niche that I enjoy within Classic, right? And it's not 100% polished at all. Then again, this whole game's not polished, so who knows, right? However, as far as, you know, with the new PvP set that came out, I will say this right now before we continue. I don't think a lot of the PvP pieces might be utilized within the next week or so, just based on how stamina heavy they are. Because I think last night I was doing the math and I was talking with McConnell about this, and I think we were getting like 91 and 93 stam from this gear, which is really nice overall. But that's besides buffs or anything, just the natural pieces of the gear. But we were trying to mix and match the sets and just like discuss what would be the best like thing to use overall for paladins. Now I'm not gonna lie, this set in game, without the whaling set, if it's just the full night set looks clean. The whaling set adds a different type of color, so let's not talk about so much transmogs, right? For my fashionista artists out there, it looks all right, not too bad. But the night set itself, the full 6-piece together, is clean. I like it. And the shotgun set looks crazy with the horns and the spikes. I don't know why you guys got the spikes. No big deal. I'm not gonna hate. Much love to you. But this is the endgame PvP set you want to run. This is the set. And I saw this shit drop yesterday up here. The Bestial Flurry, I saw that shit drop and I didn't even, or Fury, I didn't roll on it. Because I didn't know if I should take that. I saw a lot of paladins using the Dark Vision Girdle still. I believe you could still, there's nothing wrong with rocking this. You know, this still gives you your AP, your chance to hit. Some stamina int, which is like whatever. But it's a male piece nonetheless in PvP. But the reason why this is the set to go with, and I'm going to explain it in detail, you're trying to stack as much stam and strength as possible. And then we're at a whopping 916 attack power with 4k armor. This is before you get any buffs. So, like, if we're going to go to the buff section here, right? Because you could do this on 60 upgrades. Mark of the Wild. Power of Fortitude, right? And let's say if we were to have someone give us like kings, or you know, maybe another paladins on the battlefield, or aspect of the lion. We won't mark those, but for example, let's just put it on if somebody were to give us this. Now we're at 4,000 health, 320 strength, 330 stamina, 996 AP, and 4,294 armor. Now, that's not to top off the fact that when you go into a battleground zone, right, you know, naturally, like, the rates go up, right, for everybody in PvP, especially in STV as well. So this could potentially skyrocket to, I'm talking close to 5-6k health, which is absolutely insane. It's not showing here, but I'm just saying when you're in the battlegrounds and in BGs, or when you're in STV, your rates go up, right? And that's just how the way the game is designed from Blizz. Like, that's how they do it, right? Everyone gets like that buff in like health overall. But this is really juicy stuff. We're not using the PvE Limbrum here because obviously that's PvE. If you're going to use the PvE Limbrum, you stick with this one. This is your best in slot through the entire phase, through all of Sunken Temple. But we're using Benediction because that's just cream of the crop. Beautiful. It's an all-arounder. It works for everything. So you can't go wrong with this. Now, the discussion we were having last night was that should you use the 6-piece set or should you mix the Wailing Berserker chestplate set? Now, this is where I'm a little confused because last night we saw this as 3% chance on Atlas loot. On this website, it's showing it as 5% chance for the Wailing Berserker. Now, I'm going to open up a different tab, and we're doing this raw. We're doing this raw, dog, because I can't be right all the time. But even on Wowhead, this shows 3% chance. So we're going to say this is 3% chance rather than the 5% that they're saying on 60 upgrades. This is a 3% chance to proc to get an extra attack on the same target after dealing damage with your weapon. Now, you have to remember, this is a really good bonus to have, because that 3% chance, sometimes that is the make or break situation within a PvP scenario. Even like, you know, if you only had, like, for some reason, if you only had 3% deflection, you never know when you're going up against a melee class that you have that chance to deflect and hit them back with a massive auto swing, which can lead to a crit, which can lead to other procs, especially for a Ret Paladin. And I think overall, this is the best gear to rock when it comes to PvP just in general, because you're getting so much different variations of plate, mail, also a little leather with the belt, but regardless, you're still getting AP, a lot of stats all across the board, increasing your strength and agility. Now, I would say two things in this set that we're going to talk about is the Panther Fur Cloak. As much as it is drippy as shit for sure. We got that Gucci purr. We got that, you know what I mean? We got that spice and everything nice, all right? Besides that, I'm not going to lie to you. I do think the Drape of Dismantling is a little better when it comes to PvP, because if we're stacking more stamina, we're stacking more raw stamina, and we're at 1082 flat of just raw damage rate for AP, the more stamina, the better. We're at 337 stamina, 323 strength, 147 agility, which is nothing to joke about, especially before, you know, this is actually with buffs. So overall, this is really juicy stuff if we're just switching the back cloak, right? So with buffs on the battlefield, if we didn't have kings and someone wasn't on the battlefield, these stats would be down a little bit for sure. We can show that as well. Let's go to buffs. Let's take off kings and just show if you didn't have kings on the battlefield. You would be at 293, 307 with 942 AP, 4241 armor, 4241. I don't know why I'm naming numbers individually. You're pissing me off, editor, to lock me in. I'll lock you out right now. I'm locked in, you're locked out. Well, let's settle it down. And then 3856, 3856. Why am I saying numbers individually? However, yes. Basically, ADHD or WASD. Let's figure it out. Drape of Dismantling. Pretty solid. I recommend it. And that's just, you know, Papatello's advice. I think this is the better neck ring to get if you can get it from Raid, or just rock. The piece offers torque overall. If you manage to get the Resilience of the Exiled, it's just nicer stamina overall. That's another option. You got the Pendant. You also got the High Tide Choker. There's a lot of other older medallions, but overall, the Bloodstain is what you want to aim for the ultimate. Like, this is the ultimate, like, yo, we're going end game with this. Now, as far as the sword, right? As far as the sword goes, we were testing this last night in Ironforge PvP right out front, which I'd love to do. And this thing procs. When I'm telling you this parasomnia, like the causing them to wander, is the wander effect hits. It works, and I love it. I think this sword is absolutely cool, even though this is just the Untamed Blade. All right, if you look at it, it's just a reskin overall. If you really look at Atlas Loot, you can go find out for yourself. However, I think Zach went over that as well, and it was funny when I was looking. I was like, bro, Blizzard can't come up with any fucking original idea. But much love to you, Blizzard. Don't hate on me, for sure. But I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of want to go with Fiery Weapon. I think the 7 damage is cool, but Fiery Weapon, because I believe you can get that right now, Fiery Weapon would give more chances to proc, I believe, overall. And I think you could do Fiery Weapon right now, because we did get an enchant the other day for one of our enchanters. So I like Fiery Weapon overall in PvP, but the +7 weapon damage obviously is nothing to, like, you know, kid about. Overall, this is you can go with this either way and be completely happy with how you do it. When it comes to talents, we're going to be running this. This is our PvP talent build. Obviously, we need our, you know, Repentance, because it is an absolute must for you know, either burning someone's trinket, seeing how they play about it. You know, especially if we have to catch someone off guard, if they're far in range and they're trying to kite us. This way we can play off of a heal, maybe play off of a grenade. Obviously, grenades are very important in PvP. If you're not an engineer in PvP, you need it, because engineering is the GOAT when it comes to PvP and PvE as well, respectfully. Now with all the new epics that you can craft, especially the epic wrist, right, for avoiding the fear thing when it comes to the one, you know, the boss I'm talking about, Omar. You know, the basically the bombs going off all on the ground. All right, you know what I'm talking about. Don't piss me off. I'll spit on you. However, fear resist in that raid is a pretty big important deal. All right. However, I think this is the build that we're rocking, because this is the only thing that we can get a natural raw percentage within Holy when it comes to Divine Intellect and Divine Strength. We got to just get the 10 points in there so we could just, you know, have something raw and flat to, like, boost our base overall values. And then this is the runes that we're running with, like Divine Storm. This is PvP, so I know PvE Andy's in there is like, you don't use Divine Storm no more, it's trash. I get it, PvP. All right, this is strictly you know, we're cleaving with Divine Storm, or we're fighting in a solid 1v1, and then improved Hammer of Wrath, somebody's trying to run from us, we throw that fucking hammer and doink them right in the back of the head, make them rethink their class. So this is the overall build. I like this a lot. This is probably what I'm going to be running remainder of Phase 3, and I think this is probably one of the best specs to do. And overall, you know, come next phase, this goes into deeper as we, you know, continue moving forward with our class. But overall, I really like this. I'm a big fan of it, and I think you guys would enjoy it too when it comes to, you know, the deep Ret PVP abilities. And I think overall as well, when it comes to let's talk about that, because I don't want to forget this, because that was a point I was making earlier. The reason why we go with the Wailing set and the mix of the Knight set, I'll call it the Knight set because it has so many different names, Knight, Lieutenant, Sergeant, so the Knight set, right? The rank 7 Knight set. The reason why we go with the mix and match is because when we were looking at it last night, we noticed that if you were to replace the legs, you do miss off on 10 agility, which is like an extra percentage of a crit to happen. But then we were like trying to like add up, like, is it worth losing just a little bit of crit than to lose the entire set bonus piece that gives you 3% rather than saying 5% here of the extra chance to swing? So what is better, the extra percentage of crit or that 3% chance to get the proc in a fight when it happens? And I honestly like the 3%. I know I'm missing out on a percentage of crit, but when I was doing some PvP last night with a couple paladins, we were just fucking around, I was critting regardless, and I think that 3% might kick in. I would have to check the individual combat logs and see it myself. Maybe we'll do some streams this weekend, some PvP streams. Come on by. You know, hello Jay Tello, by the way, selfish plug. All right, settle down. But I think overall, I'd rather take the 3% extra chance to basically get off an extra attack on the same target that's dealing damage to me. So I like that. That's what we're gonna go with, and that's what we're rolling with. So as far as endgame PvP, that's deep Ret, that's Ret stuff. Majority of this video, we're talking about like PvP things. There are some other class things I am working on the bottom. Maybe we'll come out with a PvE video, another one in a couple days or so after we come out with more new stuff. But let's continue talking about 2 more PvP builds. This is not Shockening. I'm sorry to my Shockenings, forgive me. But right now, I'm digging more of the personal Ret and Reckoning builds. Ret Reckoning, that's my thing right now. So, for Reckoning. Now, this is two-hand Reckoning, basically. If you're going to run this build, your talents are going to change up a little bit. And another big thing I don't think I mentioned in the last part of that guide right there is that the reason why we're going with the Hypercharge, let me move my camera right here. The reason why we're going with the Hypercharge overall is because it gives us more stamina. We're trying to get more stamina and also some resistances, which are nice as well. Just natural resistance as well. So we get strength, we get agi, we get stamina, and then that's with the Draculaw Band of the Berserker, which gives us more AP and a chance to hit. Not that hit matters super too much in PvP, but the plus 13 stamina, cream of the crop. I'll kiss you back up. That's what I'm talking about right there. And I think that's the reason why we need those pieces, because it gives us a little bit more bang for our buck overall. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I do think even with the Bestial Fury being the best option because of its raw AP and raw stamina rates, I won't deny that the powered assisted lifting belt is still extremely fucking good. Extremely fucking good. So you can go with this in the first build I mentioned or these builds, because I just thought about that just now. So note that down on your little pad and save it for later on Easy Notes or whatever website you cheated on in middle school. However, this is a really good fucking belt for PvP still, and PvE. Don't let nobody fool you. Still a really good fucking belt. One of the top 3 in my opinion. It could be very well up there for sure. So I would say this belt, the Dark Vision, and the Bestial Fury. And then also an honorable mention, number 4, the Hyperconductive belt. Honorable mentions. Those are my favorite belts in the game. Get out of here. Don't ask me any other questions. You know I have an ADHD brain. I can't even speak right now. I'm about to spit out of you. You better back up. So, for the Reckoning build, for what we do with this slot, we are running this right here. This is 2-hand Reckoning, by the way. We will go into 1-hand. Don't worry. I know you're probably like, wait, this ain't Reckoning. Where's Seal of Martyrdom? Settle down. This is 2-hand Reckoning. We go into this because it now gives us the benefits of Seal of Command. We also get the benefits of Deflection. Now, I just noticed that I put points into here. Let me actually take the 5 out of there, and then we're going to stay here. But we will put 5 points into conviction. Sorry about that. I was putting my points in earlier and not looking at it. But we would go into 5 into reckoning, 5 into improved blessing of might, 5 into deflection, 5 into conviction, and seal of command. So this is a 2-hand reckoning hybrid style of a build. Obviously, we need 1 point redoubt just to get down here, so don't mind the point in redoubt. But the overall, like, we're trying to build our tankiness. Yes, the chance to hit is nice. Plus, we get the benefit of kings with this build and improved hammer of justice, which is really fucking juicy. Now, we do miss out on repent, but we do have our nades as a backup, so we have 2 options instead of 3. You have to think about our options, and also with divine shield as a 4th option to chase an opponent as well. And then trinkets, which is our escape option. So technically there are like multiple options, 5 or more, but there's a lot of options when it comes to playing around your build and what you can do. This is a very interesting build, and it's a very strong build when it comes to fighting melee only. I repeat, melee only. It is very important that you do this build only for melee. Otherwise, you will get absolutely fucking shitted on by range. So don't expect much from this build for range. But when it comes to melee, when that deep reckoning hits, you're gonna see thunder everywhere. It's gonna be like Zeus and Thanos had a baby. It's gonna be beautiful. It's crazy. Trust me. Anybody who was watching my streams weeks ago in the phase 2 when we were doing AB PVP, and you saw when I was slapping on the reckoning build, that was just a taste. This is the cream of the crop, and it's only going to get better next phase if we get more points down the trees and stuff like that, especially when we get more into 2-hand weapon spec, if we can go deeper down and we get some vengeance. Who the fuck knows how nuts it's going to get. Overall though, yes, this is really nice. I like this. If you want to try it out in PvP, by all means, give it a shot. Give it a test. I'm not saying there could be other builds out there. You can try other things. Papatello's not saying, you know, I'm the best paladin in the world, but I'm trying to help you out here with a couple things. Give me some advice if you got it. You back up, I'll beat your ass right now. Somebody get that guy on high alert. Whoever said something in the comments right there. I said what I said. However, now, this is before buffs too. So, since we got Blessings of Kings with this one, we wouldn't be able to use Blessing of Might unless a Paladin gave us Blessing of Might. And then we did all these buffs here, because this is obviously going to happen on the battlefield, right? So, let's look at the overall stats. We would be at 4086. We would be at 291 with 330 stamina. Really whopping high amount of stamina right there. 938 AP, and then 4600 armor. Overall, this is really juicy. This is really nice stuff. I think this is a nice way to build your setup. Overall, when it comes to the PvP gear in general, a lot of the pieces are going to stay the same. Some pieces might change here and there. Some people might want to play their Paladin differently than just run the whole Knight set. Or they want to run maybe some pieces of the Emerald set. I know the Emerald Warden Shoulders are pretty solid too because of the crit rating. But overall, this is the build that we like to run. This is what we're going with. Either Drape of Dismantling or Panther Fur Cloak. Or if you run the Power Weighted Assisting Belt, the Power Assisted Lifting Belt, and then we rock the Drape of Dismantling. And we're getting 343 stamina this time rather than what we were getting earlier. And 300 flat strength, which is really nice. So overall, many ways to go about this. Pretty solid build. Now, for the final build. One-Hand Reckoning. Now, I'm going to go into some things in this one. Obviously, you guys are not going to have it. Now, my guild leader does. Because that man's a total madman. For many of reasons. You're not going to have these 2 items down here. You're not going to have them. You're not going to have them, brother. It's fine. It's totally fine. Let's go into some options for you that you do want to have. Since the Flurry Axe is something that is a world drop, and if you wind up getting it, you're probably going to sell it. I don't blame you. You might as well. However, the chance on hit to grant a 1 extra attack on your next swing is absolutely massive. So what can you do in this situation? What's the other replacement? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Thrash Blade is the best runner-up. Even in general, in PvE as well, for PvE tanking. The fact that you get a chance on hit to get an extra attack on your next swing, plus 15 strength to this bad boy, and then since we're doing a one-handing Reckoning build with a shield, obviously you're not going to have Wall of the Dead here, right? Like, no shot you're going to have Wall of the Dead. But if you're an engineer, you could have this right here. You could have your Whirling True Silver Gear Wall, which still gives you 10 stamina, plus you put another 7 stamina, 17 stamina, or if you have Mythril Spikes or whatever enchantment you're going on the shield end, plus 9 strength. It also increases your chance to block intense by 1%, and then on successful block, it deals physical damage to both you and the bearer, so the person hitting you and the bearer as well. It hits them for a little bit more, and then hits you for a little bit less, but it's around the same. It gets to, the ends to the meat at that point. You know what I'm getting at. Don't piss me off right now. However, it's still pretty solid. If you can't go with this, then I would say maybe you can get something from, Razorfen Downs. The Savage Board Guard is pretty solid. The Shell Plate Barrier is pretty solid as well. If you have the old shield from Cathedral, the Aegis of the Scarlet Commander, I think I still have this one personally right now, just because it looks good and it matches with my set overall. Still pretty solid. But yes, I would say the gear wall, pretty good overall. And then this would be the build that you run for, PvP. So let's talk about more of the talents, right? So let's look at the talents, right? So, in this scenario here, for One Hand Reckoning. Now, there is a world where you could say, instead of taking Improved Hammer of Wrath, you go Hammer of Righteousness. Because Hammer of Righteousness, I'm not going to lie to you right now, Hammer of Righteousness is hitting. For right now, like, AoE, like, I think, like, one of my mage friends were saying it too, like, Paladins, like, for, like, AoE with Hammer of Righteousness, Consecration, even in PvE alone, is fucking smacking extremely hard. And there is an argument out there, which is probably a topic for another day in a video, where one-hand hitting could be better than using a two-hand, just in general, when it comes to just doing damage and, overall, because of how fast the proc rates are with Seal of Martyrdom, right? But, overall, I could say you could use Hammer of Righteousness here. Definitely a good opener, especially if you're moving into the field as a Reckoning build. You're going to be the first person leading the charge because you want to get hit by the critical strike so you can deal a massive amount of damage in with the Reckoning stacks and just smack them, right? Now, Hammer of Righteousness, hit a couple targets, smack them all up. It comes down, I think, on like a 10-second cooldown, I believe. Could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. But it's pretty quick, and then boom, you just keep hitting them. Hammer of Wrath is nice in a 1v1 scenario because if that person's low at that threshold, and then you spam it, and if you have the mana to blow, you could just nuke them. So either or is totally fine in this build. But let's say you do Hammer of Righteousness, right? This would be the build you want to go into. We're going into one-handed specialization because we need to get the 5 points in there. And then we're going into Improved Seal of Righteousness because we want to improve the effects of our Seal of Martyrdom overall. Now, unfortunately, in this build, we can't go with Deflection. But if you don't want to take the 10% increased strength, and you don't want that 15% increase overall of Seal of Righteousness with the benefits of Seal of Martyrdom, because it benefits off of Improved Seal of Righteousness now, for those who don't know, and you should know this because I've been saying it in my videos. However, you could just do this. 5 here, 5 here. And if you want to get a 5% parry chance, I don't know why my nose is so itchy. It's not like I did a line of coke. Settle down, not that type of video. I don't do drugs. Family friendly. The only drug I ever took it was Advil. Settle down. However, deflection, Improved Blessing Might, you could go that route. But personally, I like this. I like this. And this is something I've tested and I've seen the numbers for. And I like the number results from this compared to the other side. Now, when come next phase, then yeah, maybe we can go into the deflection, a couple other points into some other things around the board, maybe some conviction if we can get there. But yes, this is the overall build. This is without buffs too, so we can put on Power of Fortitude, Mark of the Wild. Anything else we're missing here? Blessing of Kings. If somebody were to give us Blessing of Might, right? Because obviously if there's another Paladin in the battlefield or if they're in the group. So let's look at our stats overall. We'd be at 1018, 6,420 armor. We would be at 331 strength, 317 stamina, and 3,956 health. And you got to remember, like I said, guys, this is before the whatchamacallit. This is before, like, the buffs that you would naturally get within BGs, within STV, right? With your, your health rates, right? So this is gonna even skyrocket even more. I think realistically for all builds and a lot of heavier plate-based builds, health is gonna skyrocket to like the 5,000-6,000s, which is absolutely fucking insane. And this is also without you sweating and popping buffs on your own part. By all means, people do that in PvP. They'll drink some Rumsey labels, they'll pop some food buffs, they'll pop some faps. I've seen them do it. People get real sweaty if they got the cash money, you know what I'm saying? However, that is basically it, guys, for the PvP. That's all we have to go over. Now, this is something I want to discuss personally. Let's zoom in the camera. I like what you did right there. We should pay you extra. And next time I'll beat you the shit out of with this plastic Snapple bottle. Brought to you by Snapple. Get this out of here. Poland Spring. Brought to you by this one right here. I'm about to chug one for you right now. Much love, amigos. Now, we have to talk here. Zoom it back in for a second. Because we have to talk about this ability right here. And we have to talk about something else. Let me get it for you. Guys, just wait for it, alright? Just wait for it. I'm pulling it up in the tabs so we can have it beforehand, alright? Don't piss me off. Parasomnia. Now, I think this sword is really cool. I think it's dope. I like it a lot. But, I think it's better for a warrior than it is a paladin right now. When it comes to just general usage in PvE. Let's say we're just talking about PvE right now. PvE, this sword is not really good for a paladin. And this makes me really upset. Because Seal of Command, when it comes to paladins, I mean, dude, look at the screenshot. Come on now. Come on now. Like, come on now. The whole thing about paladins is that we enjoyed using Seal of Command. It was like, once you get this ability, especially, you know, when you were hitting like around level 20 early on, and you're getting your first Seal of Command, you know, and you're like, fuck yeah, now it's time to activate my build. I'm about to start doing some good damage. You know, I could twist, you know, with righteousness and command. Blizzard, something needs to be done, bro. I don't mind the fact that we are doing, you know, fast-based builds. It is totally fine. I am cool with that we are, you know, fast-based Andes. And I don't mind the fact that that is the case. But at the same time, why are we throwing away the spec that Paladins have been using for such a long time? Seal of Command with a slow two-hand is really fucking fun. I love doing this personally in PvP. It's my favorite way to play the Paladin. I would rather play this way than play Seal of Martyrdom any time in the week. And I don't think using a fucking crowd pummeler, which looks like a dildo on a stick, no offense to you if you like that, respect, settle down, not that type of video, but if it looks like that, and we're just swinging that for a whole nother phase, for 2 phases, there's no way that that can be our best in-slot item, because if you don't have the Lasher, which a lot of Paladins do right now, and I'm missing 1 sword, so I need 1 more. But if you don't have the Lasher from ZF, you're using this fucking thing off its global cooldown, no matter what, switching to the Lasher, popping off with it. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. And I don't know if a lot of Paladins are a fan of the Seal of Martyrdom, just, you know, using the same weapon over and over again. You're putting a sword, like, what is the idea of this, Blizzard? You put a sword that looks like this in the game, and you decide to say, oh, this is not even a weapon you're going to use in PvE at all. It's not going to have no usage. This is just a PvP weapon. It has its only one specific use. What kind of fucking design idea and flaw is that? I'm sorry. Devs, I don't agree with you on this one whatsoever. I honestly think you need to make Seal of Command Divine Storm great again. Seal of Command Divine Storm needs to be great again. Do you remember? Let's zoom in. Good edit there. Do you remember Phase 1 when we got Divine Storm? How cool it was getting a raid of 40 Paladins, getting people going there, getting your Divine Storm, people doing this. Warlocks were getting the runes over there as well. Like, bro, it was fucking sick. It was dope. The feeling of Divine Storm, Deadly Strike of the Hydra. It was a great feeling. And that was before I was even doing fucking parsing shit. Before I was, like, sweating in Nomer, you know, and doing Phase 2 bullshit with Pummeler. Which I like doing PvE alone. But I think Divine Storm and Seal of Command deserves a spot back in Season of Discovery. It feels like it's getting forgotten. And I think that's a problem with a lot of classes. Is that a lot of classes have a lot of runes that are underutilized, underdeveloped, and don't get put back into the fucking mix, man. And it's damn upsetting. And you guys at Blizzard should fucking know that. You should know that. You should know that there's a lot of runes not being used right now. And if you truly gave a fuck, if you truly give a fuck about it, then comment on it. Talk about it more. You got Agron out here who's being the face guy, and I respect to Agron. Much love to him. But he's taking all the hits from all these people. He doesn't deserve it. I'm not going to say he's a bad dude. Great guy. But I mean, come on. If you truly care about the game, then why was the raid even like this in the first place? You guys know what you're doing is what I'm getting at. And for Paladins in general, you make that nerf the other day to say, oh, elementals are now adjusted to the proper things for BRD for easier access through the tavern. You could have just basically said, yeah, Paladins, we feel bad for you. Sorry for fucking you. That's basically what you could have just said. So I don't know what kind of favoritism or non-thinking is going on over there on the dev team of SOD when it comes to, like, you know, obviously these other classes being broken, right? But overall, I really think you need to fix the problems with classes within the individual talent trees themselves, edit the parameters, fix the coding on the back end of broken talents to readjust values to make these classes feel good and great again. Because I'm sure a lot of Paladins could agree with me that Seal of Command and, you know, using a badass two-hand weapon sword with Divine Storm is much more fun, in my opinion, than just using Seal of Martyrdom with a crowd pummeler that looks like dog shit. Sorry, just gonna throw it out there. And it's meant for a fucking druid anyways. I understand they're building it like a Wrath-based Paladin, but it's like, this Seal of Command, much cooler. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna throw it out there. And if you want to, you know what? Throw another 50 cents in there. Make it twistable with fucking Martyrdom. Now we're talking. Put us online. That's all I'm saying. I'm fighting for the Paladins out here, and the light is shining on me from the grace of God. You're pissing me off right now. Don't make me flex the chest right now, brother. That was the neck muscle. A little titty just popped right now. Settle down. I'll kill you. However, that's all I have to say about that. I don't want to make this video OD long. I just want Paladins to get fixed up, just like a lot of other classes that have issues with their individual specs to get fixed up and look at. I love all classes in WoW. I think they're all fucking dope and they're all unique to their own ways. And if a person feels like they're left out because they can't play the spec they want to play, that's not going to make it fun for them, you know? You're not going to, it's not an enjoyable time, especially for all the stuff that we're doing. We've been playing WoW games for years, you know? And, like, we just want to have fun with the class that we pick and enjoyable and see it shine. And I hope in the end of Phase 3, a lot of more balance comes in. And I really pray for balance, because that's what it's all about, that we can all balance ourselves out and reach the top of the plateau together, you know what I mean? The top of the mountaintops together in the light. Both Horde and Alliance. So much love to you, Horde, out there as well. No hate to you for this one, because it's the overall betterment of the game itself, rather than just one side or the other. But that's all I got to say. That was the video for today, and I just rhymed right there anyway. So, anywho, lock it in. Much love to you, amigos. Keep on keeping on as usual, and I'll see y'all in the next one. I should hit you with a sweet chin music right now. If you're not going to end the fucking video, who's going to...